Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to the third Power Hour, or as we like to call it in the Reddit chat, Power Hour, because that's what it is all about. It's all about the power of the stocks rising and seeing things change in our favor, hopefully. Oh my God, guys, today has been an incredible day. We have jumped up already about 25%, I believe we are sitting at. Let me pull up my chart here just to make sure that I am getting an accurate representation. Oh, we're down a little bit, 23%. I'm going to be honest here. I'm not surprised at a little bit of a pullback here. Look at this. This is dirty. Let me just center this here for you guys. Just make sure that I'm getting that looking good. Oh, I gotta. No, that's not what I want. That's me. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Look at that. Look at that run today. Holy crap. We're up 23%. Now listen, I want to add here that if you see a little bit of a pullback here and like you're like, oh my God, what's happening and stuff, it's okay. Like, damn, you don't usually see a 23% increase on stocks like this. That's a really good day for a stock. So let's throw this right now on the Fibonacci sequence and take a look at it a little more closely. We notice that if it will stick, we notice that we're sitting at a little bit between 23.6% and 38.2%. That is really, really healthy for a pullback here. Another thing that I've noticed that we've been seeing a lot today too with AMC, and we are looking at AMC here, is we've seen a lot of consolidation for a bit. Now, let's look a little bit closer. So what would happen is we would go up a little bit, then we consolidate a little bit, then we'd start moving up again, then a few minutes of consolidation, then we go up again. I think we had a little bit of shorting happening at this point in time, just from the sharp ladder that we see there. And then we kind of stuck around the same price, went up a little bit, stuck around the same price, and you kind of get it. And then we really kind of just stayed still for just a little bit of this part of the day, which is perfectly fine. Now, I want to add here that what you're seeing is, if it's not always going up incredibly high right away, it gives other people a chance to get into this stock, which is really, really important to happen. And no, that's not what I wanted there. I want this here. One of these days I'll be able to get this right the first time. From those of you who have watched my Twitch channel, you'll know that my openings are always really terrible. I try. So, but yeah, right now we're between 28.2 and 23.6% pullback. That's okay. This is a dip. And we've talked about dips. We've talked about that the dips are when you buy and the rips are when you sell. Obviously, we're not selling AMC. We're holding onto AMC. Maybe you're not. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, as it says at the bottom of your screen. But point being that I'm holding. I'm here for the long run. This is not the squeeze. I have seen some rumors out there of people asking if this is the squeeze. It is not the squeeze. This is just the base of the squeeze. Trey had a comment on his Twitter there with somebody saying, hey, make sure to tell everybody this is the base of the squeeze. So I just wanted to share that info with you. Let's take a look at GME too. GME is not having the best of days. And for me personally, this kind of shocks me, especially with the stimulus checks coming out. I mean, if we go back to AMC just for a split second, we noticed that right at opening it just ripped, and then it kind of never stopped, besides for now where we're getting a little bit of a pullback. But GME has just kind of been bleeding all day long, and it's not been exactly the most fun of rides. I think at the beginning of the day there was a little bit of a rip that happened. Yeah, we had a little one where it jumped from 274 up to about 280.69. But then it just kind of hit 83, and it looked kind of like it was going to be okay. And then we got shorted pretty heavily right here. And then it came back up, and then it dropped back down. And then it came up a little bit, and then it's just been kind of sinking back down again. So not the most amazing chart ever. Maybe we'll see. We just started Power Hour. Power Hour. Um, but maybe we'll see a little bit of a pullback during this hour where, or not a pullback, we'll see a little bit of an increase here. A little bit of a push, I guess, as the cool kids call it nowadays. We'll see a little bit of a push here and we'll be on better track. However, the star of the day again is AMC. It is pulling back to 1363. That's a pretty big pullback, but compared to the rest of the day, again, it's pretty healthy in my personal opinion. And it appears that my man Fibonacci, well, even though he didn't intend it for this reason, but Fibonacci is saying, hey, everything is looking okay here. So let's look at our resistances and our walls. And where's my little chart here? There it is. All right, we have at 1365. Things are moving a little bit. Looks like we might be just going to draw tracements here. Let's see, 1343. It seems to be a nice level of support that we have. So let me put one there. 443. And I'm going to take the Fibonacci away here for a split second, just so we can kind of see that. We have a nice level of support with 19,000, 17,000, 11,000. Seems like it might break through the bottom here. And we have a wall at 1355 starting to form. Not terrible. We're looking pretty okay. Again, healthy retracement. I'm not too worried. If we were to end the day at 1359, I would be really happy about that. We are seeing some bearish sentiment happening here. We did have the 200 MA, or the 20 MA cross over the 200 MA, which can be an indicator of that. However, the RSI is showing us that the stock is currently being oversold, which can also be a bullish indicator. So we have two that are kind of crossing here. We want to see our 20 MA come underneath, which is this purple line. We want to see this reverse its direction, pop over that green line, and get us going in the right direction. GME over here, on the other hand, seems to be starting a new trend here. Let's see what's going on here. Get 3 points. Did a little bit of a downward trend. Again, not what I really want to see. So, yeah, that's not looking good. We want to see a nice green candlestick. You know, I'd like to see one that goes to about, where are you? There you are. I'd like to see a candlestick that goes about that. That would be nice. That would be telling me that we are heading in a pretty decent direction the other way. Volume on GME has been kind of crap today. Sitting at 18.36 million. I think their average is about 49. However, AMC's volume over here, 245.7 million. I think we saw like a good 10 to 15 million in the first hour of market open, which is absolutely incredible. Oh man. And ever since then, again, we just saw that price flying. What do we have going on with our MAs over here? We have our 20 MA still, it's kind of running parallel, which is not exactly what we want to be seeing, but it is what it is. We take it for what it is. If you are watching, if you're a new watcher, if you don't mind hitting that like button down below the video, that helps the channel out and helps me out. I really appreciate that. Other than that, let's get back to AMC. Let's see what's going on here. The volume overall is lower than it was this morning, but I mean, it's been pretty consistent, and I have my volume chart down here, if you can see my mouse. It looks like we might have a little bit of a push going on here. Let's see what's happening here. Sitting at 1374, we have a nice support at 1372, if we can see over here on the chart, and now it's still there. I will draw it in just so we have it, which raised it from the 1343 we were at, which is good. That's the sign that we're definitely moving. It doesn't appear, we kind of have a wall at 1381. I'm not going to draw that right now though, because my L2 charts are changing so fast that, in my opinion, it may not even be worth marking it because I'll have to move it immediately afterwards. I will get rid of this old support here because we have a new one. Looks like we may test it. Maybe it might have been a false break. However, I am feeling confident that we are seeing some movement here. Volume is currently at this moment sitting at about 641,000. Ooh, say that 10 times fast. Oh man. So one thing I do want to bring up too is this is big. AMC and GME. You see, in the past week, I've been watching a lot of. I was watching Bruce this morning. I was watching what is his name, Andrew Mo Money and Max Maher, and those guys are really fun to watch. But more importantly, there was a lot of messages going through and some questions popping up throughout the day that were saying, should we sell out of GME and go into AMC, or should we sell out of AMC and into GME? And the overall consensus, and I agree with this, is that don't keep swapping your positions, because then you have to pay taxes on your capital gains on that already. So you're going to lose like that 30% to begin with as soon as you cash out, to my understanding. If that is different, please let me know. But that is where my current understanding is of that. And, we saw last week GME had a huge run. GME in the past 2 weeks has just flown up over 100% one day, and then it went up from 110 all the way up to 245, and then it was at 345. Then we had that day of heavy shorting, which brought it down again. But so that was cool. That was okay. Not the shorting part. But it was cool because, it had its run then, and now we're seeing movement over here on AMC. So in my personal opinion, again, I'm not a financial advisor, is just to hold. Hold your position right now if you can. Obviously, there's some people who have certain situations going on. Looking over here, we did see that we did get a matching red candlestick, which is a little bit bearish, but we may be making it up with this green candlestick that is currently forming on AMC right now. I will zoom in a little bit so you guys can see that a little bit better. But yeah, guys, I think the overall message here is hold. And the other message here too is this. AMC and GME have had a lot of correlations. We're all fighting against the same people, same hedge funds. So to bash each other and to be like, no, you're wrong, don't go into this, or go into our stock. No, you're wrong, come into our stock. That's not the way to do this. We have to be a team, guys. If you're invested in GME, awesome. If you're invested in AMC, awesome. And yes, I do have a position in both, but even if I didn't have the position in both of those, I would be saying the same thing. This is a team effort, and the more divided we get, the worse off our causes can be. Now, we want everybody to make money on this, right? We're all people, or a lot of us here don't have a lot of income. A lot of us are, maybe some people do, maybe some people don't. But we want everybody to win, and that's the difference here. You have the hedge funds over fighting against AMC and GME, trying to cause these companies to just go bankrupt so they don't have to pay any taxes or anything like that, or cover their positions. They just make pure profit. And we're sitting here, and so thousands of people can lose their jobs from this, which is not good. But we're here and we're buying the stock. We're holding. We understand what it is to work those 9-to-5 jobs. We understand what it's like to be stuck and be financially burdened in a position where sometimes it's hard to even just get food. Which there's a huge disconnect between the classes there. And so what you're seeing is all of us come together. So if we're fighting each other while this is happening, we're saying GME is not the stock to be in, AMC is the stock to be in, and vice versa. It just gets us nowhere. It puts us in a position that we don't want to be in. We are seeing a breakout over here, 1078 or 1378, not 1078. Geez, 1378 is our new support here. So that's not a bad thing. We're seeing that raise up. 1387 seems to be where the most bit or asks are being placed. Most sells are being requested. So let's see if we hit 1378. We may break through it. 1380. We do have a little bit of a red candlestick here. However, it does appear at the moment to be shortening. So yeah, and remember too that these companies, what do you value them at? Obviously, you want to do your due diligence. You want to know where that's placed at. But where do you personally value these companies at? And keep to that sentiment. You know, AMC obviously has the nostalgia factor in place. We have COVID opening up with, or COVID coming more. Let me try that again. You have places opening up more with COVID changes happening, which means that more money is going to come into the market. We've been seeing articles like that. We've been seeing a lot of positive sentiment. I mean, even on Webull here, if we look at the news, I haven't read this article, but I'm assuming, seeing as it's popping up in AMC, top movie theater stocks for Q2 2021. Let's take a closer look here. Best value. There it is, AMC, best value movie theater stocks. These are the movie theater stocks with the lowest 12-month trailing prices to sales ratio. For companies in early stage of development or industry suffering from major shocks, this can be substituted as a rough measurement of a business's value. The price to sales ratio shows how much you're repaying for the stock for each dollar of sales generated. So we see AMC sitting there on the list. That's not a bad thing. If you're interested in reading this article, let me just get this out here. Let me refresh my page because I want to post this to you. If you want to look closer at this article, where is my stream? There it is. I'm going to post the link here for you guys to check that out and form more of your own opinions. So currently we are sitting at 1382. Looks like we are making a bit of a recovery here, which is not a bad thing. We got nice little candlesticks popping out at the bottom down here, or candle wicks rather, which is putting a nice level of support there. And Rage Goose Studios, who is me, shared a link there if you're wondering. Kind of threw me off. So right now we're sitting at 1379. GameStop is sitting at 232.02, and it's jumping around a bit. It did have a little bit of a recovery similar to AMC. However, in my opinion, right now GME really needs that recovery a lot more. We did break out of that downward trend, and we do seem to be moving up. So that's also a good thing. All right, we are sitting at 13 minutes past the hour, which means that we have 47 minutes left of Power Hour. So I would like to ask you guys now, and I see that we have some people here saying hello people. How do you guys feel about everything going on? Is there anything that you feel that I've missed that you would like me to talk about a little bit more? Are you feeling bullish? Are you feeling bearish? Oh, another thing that I want to talk about too. This blew my mind. This was on one of Trey's talks. He had I can't remember the username of the guy, but this was, I think, yesterday that he had him on. It was the guy who was saying $2,000 was the price floor for AMC potentially through his DD. So, are you looking at your feed? I am looking at my feed. Am I missing something? Hope I'm not missing something. Let me see. Let me make sure that I'm not missing something over on my Facebook feed here. No, it doesn't appear so. Just give me 1 second. You guys can see all my Facebook stuff, and that's not what I want. There we go. It's an infinity tunnel. I'm not sure what you... yeah. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything here. And also, welcome to the chat, Sean. Good to have you here. So as I was saying, though, in the video where the guy was talking about where he thinks 2,000 is the price floor, he said something that really caused me to start thinking. He said that in the stock market, you have bulls who are predicting that the price movement is going to go forward, and you have bears that predict that the price movement is going to go downwards. However, the internet has created a brand new kind of animal in the stock market called, can you guess it? The ape. And the ape is buys low, holds on until they can max out on their gains. And I was like, oh my god, that is awesome. And so I'm personally apish on this stock. I'm definitely apish. So if you guys are apish on this stock, let's see some apes in the chat. I would like to see some apes in the chat on that right now. Currently sitting at 1382. 1382 is now a level support, going up to 1387 in just the second that I said that. So we are gaining some momentum here. We are seeing our 20 MA start to loop around like I was talking about. If this crosses over our 200 MA, there is a pretty solid chance that we will see some more bullish movement happening with this stock as it is. Let's see, what else am I looking at? 1385 does seem to be a wall that we need to get through. There it is. So we're kind of working in a small area here, which is not a bad thing. Let's see where it goes. There it is, Gorilla Grip on AMC. Yes, Gorilla Grip on AMC. There's also been a lot of talk about the Melvin Capital situation. I think it was they have 58 violations currently in the past 3 years through the stock. So, you know, that's insane. You know, in my opinion, I don't know exactly how to go about this, but the fines are way too small. It's just a cost of doing business. It really needs to get that price for those fines increased. This stuff needs to stop happening, and maybe with the new DTCC rule in play, maybe we'll see that happening less until they figure out something new or a different way to do it. So yeah, guys, that is what's going on right now. We're sitting at 1384 on AMC, 233 on 20 on GME. Again, GME is down 11.88%. It is on the SSR list, which means that it's much harder to short, not impossible to do so. They just have to do it on the upticks rather than at any point in time. So GME is looking a little weird. However, in the past 5 minutes here, we are seeing that GME is now consolidating a little bit at this price level, about 232.88. And I'm just placing that right in the center there of that line just to kind of see where it's at. And now because I did that, the stock is dropping. I'm sorry. So let's look also on a 1 hour chart here. Check this out. This is over the course of quite a few days here. Here's the squeeze. This is where we've been, guys. This is where we've been. We've been down to 526. We kind of stayed in that 526, $6 range for a really long period of time. So if you're like, I want more movement right now, why isn't this happening? Just remember, we went through how many days of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days of that kind of consolidation. And then we just been taken off from there. We had a spike up to here. Then we had that crazy, I believe this is where the crazy short was. Nope, that was earlier than that. This was on 225, but we had a nice, or a bad short ladder attack here. Then we rose up, came down, and this over here, and then boom, we're up at 1385 currently. Now, something interesting popped up, and let me see if I have this on my Reddit still. Let me make sure I saved this. I thought this was interesting because I noticed this, but I'm still fairly newish to the stocks, so I didn't want to. So I was like, maybe this is just me seeing something that's not there. But then somebody talked about it in much more detail. Where is it? It would have been about a day ago. Here it is. All right. So I guess what it's called is fractals. And I don't know of the validity of those in stocks. I will share this link down here in the chat if you want to take a closer look at it. But to what it kind of said is where we are now is almost similar to the movement that we saw before in the squeeze earlier, the first squeeze back in January. And I noticed this, and I've been kind of watching it, so I thought it was kind of interesting to see this pop up. Look at this. We had a long period of consolidation. This is back in before January's squeeze. Long period of consolidation, which you see here. You had a little bit of an increase here, which you can see here, and then it dropped down. That increase would go up to here. So you have that there. Then it dropped down. Then it dropped down here again. It went over for a little tiny bit. Then it popped up right here. Then it came down a little bit, which we see that same kind of movement here. And then it started popping up again. And then we may have a little bit of a pullback if this is the proper trend that I'm seeing. We'll have a little bit of a pullback, and then we may see this launch. So I'd love to get your guys' opinions on this. I thought it was interesting that the charts really do look very similar compared to where we have been in the past. And apparently those are called fractals. I don't know much about that stuff in the terms of stocks, besides what I've read here. But he talked about the same concept. There was a lot of very similar movement happening over there. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything that I want to say about that. And then the other important thing, which we're seeing now with this too, is we are seeing a lot of volume coming into the stock, which is really going to help price movement as we have seen today. If you're enjoying what you're watching, it really help me if you hit that like button down below. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're also enjoying the content and also want to join for other power hours and cool other videos in the future, also hit that subscribe button and the little bell next to it to be notified whenever I'm going live. We are currently sitting at 22 past the hour, and it seems that we have dropped a little bit. There's a little bit of a sell-off going on here. Our next, holy crap, 1366 seems to be our strongest point at the current time. Let's bring that up to 1366. Boom. And then we're trying to get through 1378 seems to be our biggest wall, which is going to be right here. So we are working to break through this blue line. And to figure that out over here, I just use my L2 charts. And they're going crazy today, guys. 253.23 million. Not the most volume that we've seen in AMC, but definitely we're the right direction. AMC's average volume currently sits at 161.4 million, just to kind of give a general idea of where we're sitting at. We'd like to see even double where we're at right now, even triple. If we saw that happening, things will go crazy. And to my understanding with squeezes, that becomes insane. We are seeing what I was hoping for, which I mentioned earlier in the video, where our 20 MA is working its way towards the 200 MA. It looks like we had a little bit of a deviation, but that's just at the current time. So who knows how that little green candlestick is going to pop up there. But it is looking pretty decent. Maybe we even have a little bit of, as Trey would call it, a George W, or even a double bottom on the chart here. We got one right here, and we have a bottom which may be here. I'm not saying it is yet. We want to see some candlesticks start pointing up in that direction. We are sitting pretty even on our RSI, which isn't bad. Volume does appear to have dropped in the past few minutes, just a little tiny bit. Nothing terrible. It's pretty consistent. So who knows where we're headed with that. But I am feeling pretty bullish right now, hoping for that George W. Looks like... Let me see if there's anything going on over here. There might actually be a article that was just shared here. Let me see what this is about. Oh, I think this is the... This is the Citadel Has No Clothes article. So let's take a look at that. Let's talk about that. Let me switch my screen over. There we go. So Citadel Has No Clothes, and apparently this is by 8-bit. I think I'm pronouncing his name right, 8-bit maybe. He's the one who shared this article. Citadel has no clothes. This is not financial advice, as nothing on this channel is. Everything disclosed in the post was done by myself with public information. I came to my own conclusions, as should you. Let's see. I'm gonna skip the TLDR and let's read the TLDR. Citadel Securities has been fined 58 times for violating FINRA, Reg Show, and SEC regulations, which was what I was talking about earlier. Several instances are documented as willful naked shorting. In December 2020, they reported an increase in their short position of 127.57%. Forget what the YOY year of... I think it means over the past few years. I forget what YOY exactly stands for. And I'm calling BS on their shenanigans. I've been digging into financial statements of Citadel Securities between 2018 and 2020, primarily because Citadel Securities actually has a set of published financial statements as opposed to the 13 Fs filed by Citadel advisors. First, Citadel is a conglomerate. They have a hand in literally every pocket of the financial world. Citadel Advisors LLC is managing $384.9 billion. Is that billion? Yeah. In market securities as of December 2020. Yes, seriously, 384.9 billion. 295.3 billion of that is split into options, calls, and puts, while 78.9 billion, 20.52%, is allocated to actual physical shares, or so they say. The rest is convertible debt securities. The value of those options can change dramatically in a short amount of time, so Citadel invests in several trading practices which allow them to stay ahead of the average Fidelity Active Trader Pro. Robinhood actually sells this data, option price, expiration date, ticker symbol, everything, to Citadel from its users. Those commission fees you are not paying for? Yeah, think again. Check out Robinhood's 606 form to see how much Citadel paid them in Q4 2020. And then they vulgarity towards Robinhood. And what this is saying is that, and I want to briefly touch on this. Let me just put a little thing here to remember where I was, is that our data is being sold, where all our limits are at, what we're buying, the sentiment and everything. And one of the points that I want to bring up here is that the hedge funds have done this in private for long periods of time, this kind of stuff, whereas we have always done this stuff right out in the open. We don't care who knows. We know that our goal is just to hold and to keep moving forward until we get the price that we want. We're apish. At least I'm apish. I don't know about you guys. Anyway, and another example is Citadel's high-frequency trading. They actually profit between the national ask bid prices and scrape pennies off of millions of transactions. I'm going to show you several instances where Citadel received a slap on the wrist from FINRA for doing this, but not just yet. Now, the totally 100% legit, nothing to see here, independent branch of Citadel Advisors is Citadel Securities, the market maker making manipulated markets. The whole purpose of the DTCC is to serve as a third party between brokers and customers. Check out this video if you guys want to check that out, go ahead. I'll bring up the DTCC again soon. Anyway, Citadel Advisors use their own subsidiary, Citadel Securities, support their very unique style of trading. For some reason, the SEC and FINRA have allowed this, but not without citing them for 58 regulatory events. So that got me thinking, WTF is Citadel actually putting out there for the public to see? Truthfully, not much. A 12-page annual report called a Statement of Financial Condition. Statement of Financial Condition in 2018. It is saying that securities sold, not yet purchased at fair value, is $22,357. The highlighted section above represents securities sold but not yet purchased at fair value. which I believe they're talking about here is the failures to deliver. For 22.3 billion, that's billion, right? Dollars. This is a liability because Citadel is responsible for paying back the securities they borrowed and sold. And so I was right there. If you're thinking that sounds a lot like a short, you're correct. Citadel Securities shorted 22 big ones, that's billion, in 2018. Same story for 2019, but bigger, $25.2 billion. We come down to 2020, starts to get really interesting. Throughout the COVID pandemic, we all heard the stories of brick and mortars going bankrupt. It was becoming very profitable to bet against the continuity of these companies, so big like Citadel decided to up their portfolio by 127.57%. Holy crap. So this is now looking at December 31st, 2020, sitting up at $57.5 billion compared to up here where it was just 25 back in 2019. By the way, we broke $14 again, sitting at $14.08 on the stock. Gamestop sitting at $231.51. That's right. Citadel Securities upped their short positions to 57.5 billion. Make sure I got the right number there. I do. In 2020, we've all heard Jimmy Cramer's bedtime stories. It's important to create a narrative in your favor so that your short position helps drive those businesses into bankruptcy. Personally, I'm convinced that most of the media hype throughout COVID was an example of this, but I digress. Edit, credit to Johnny Gray for the deeper dive here, which there is, I think there's supposed to be a link there. Sean says, I'm apish. All right, I'm apish. I mean, look right now at the price action. We're hitting 14.11. So note of financial condition, options, they increased in 2019, 2020, 9, 18, 27, over 300%. Anyways, Citadel shorted another 32.236 billion in 2020 and rolled into 2021 with some fat tack. Now it is time for a quick accounting lesson. This is where you are going to crap the bed. This guy, oh man, these Wall Street ones, I'm like trying to dodge all these swears for the channel here. You see the highlighted section below. Citadel and other companies reporting highly liquid securities uses fair value accounting to measure the amount that goes on their balance sheet, including liabilities like short positions. The cash that Citadel received asset was accounted for when the security was sold, but the liability short needs to be recorded at the current market price for those securities while they remain on the balance sheet. And it says here, highlighted in yellow, the company's securities owned and securities sold, not yet purchased, are recorded at fair value. And this is securities owned, securities sold, not yet purchased. At the end of 2020, the fair value of their short positions was $57 billion. At the end of 2021, however, Citadel will need to adjust the value of those liabilities to their current market value. Since we don't know the domestic allocation of their short portfolio, you can only imagine that the crap tsunami that's coming for them. Take GME, for example. We know that Citadel had a short position in GME along with Melvin Capital. Can you imagine the damage that Wall Street Bets has done to other stonks in their portfolio? If Melvin lost 53% in January from this, there's no telling what the current fair value of those shorts are. What that is saying, guys, is holy crap, we're in a good place. Then he goes on to talk about the violations here. My nose has gotten itchy. And I'm going to leave the rest of this, guys, for you to read because we got some... actually, we'll probably come back to this in a minute. We got some price action going on here that I want to switch over to. Check this out. We're up to 1416. Volume is looking pretty decent at the moment. A little bit consistent, but we saw a little bit of a spike a few minutes ago. We have another 25 minutes, 26 minutes sitting here, but a lot of green in our charts. As I've talked about before, that 20 MA is about to cross that 200 MA, which is exactly what we are looking for, guys. This is exactly what we're looking for. If you haven't yet, please throw a like in the video if you are enjoying this. I just lost. There it is. And also hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're interested, no pressure to do so. It does help the channel. There is a PayPal in the description box if you would like to donate to the channel. Also, if you're enjoying Webull too, I'm not sponsored by Webull whatsoever. But if you're interested, I do have a Webull link there that will get me 2 free stocks if you guys sign up. And it also will get you a free stock anyway. I don't even think you need my thing to do that. So if you're interested. Again, no pressure. That would be cool. Ooh, I was correct. We have the George W. Look at that, guys. There's the George W. right on your screen. Boom. All right. While we're waiting for a little bit more to happen here, let's go back to the article. Quite frankly, I'm tired of typing them. There are still 49 violations and the most big fines. Naked Short's failures to provide documentation to SEC, short selling on trade halts is starting to sound familiar. When Wall Street bets started exploding the truth, they lost the advantage. Now that the DD is coming out about this crap, they're getting desperate. Let's look at some recent events that occurred with trading halts in GME on March 10, 2021. How could we forget? Right on Mario Day. We watched the stock rise until 12:30 p.m. when an unbelievable drop triggered at least 4 circuit breaker events, probably more, but I walked away for a bit. Yeah, that was pretty devastating. I was driving my car, so nothing I could do. I wouldn't have, if anything, in that moment, what I wish I could have done, and maybe you'll disagree with this, but this was just my logic of thinking, was if I could have sold at the top there and then bought back at like 345 and bought in at 172, I could have like doubled my shares. Maybe not doubled, but I'd have a few more. So I'm holding though, guys. I'm diamond handing. I'm not selling. Now, I do not believe retail traders did this. Most importantly, the market was totally frozen for the majority of that 25 minutes. Even if people were putting in orders to sell, there were just as many people trying to buy the dip. The volume of shares flooding the market at the same exact time was premeditated. I can say that with confidence because several media outlets, mainly MarketWatch, published articles while this was happening, after nearly a week of radio silence. MarketWatch even predicted the decline of 40% before the entire drop had occurred. When Redditors reached out to ask WTF was going on, the authors set their Twitter accounts to private. Slimy as... but wait, did example number 4 say that Citadel was fined $15,000 for selling shorts during circuit breaker events? Did they? Yep, and here are 2 more instances. Citadel Securities LLC affected transactions during numerous trading halts. So this is just talking about more fines that they got for doing this kind of stuff. Think Citadel's and loan all this? Think again. It's actually been termed flash crash. So what this is also saying, guys, is that they can still short the stock while we are in those suspended moments, which is a little ridiculous in my opinion. And then it goes over the amounts here for each of these. Peekaboo, I see you. 4 million for Morgan Stanley. So a whole bunch of this crap going on, according to this guy. Now, if you don't agree, let me know in the chat. Curious to hear what your opinions are on this. However, this seems to be a pretty popular article, and so I'm feeling more and more connected to this personally. I can't tell who was responsible for the flash crash in GME last Wednesday. I don't think anyone can. However, to suggest that it wasn't market manipulation is laughable. The media and hedge funds are tighter than your wife and her boyfriend, so spending time on this issue is a waste. I've seen another theory popping out. Andrew Mo Money was talking about this, how maybe this is a whale who is on our side who was trying to drop these stocks by 10%. I know GameStop went way below that, but we saw GameStop go under 10% again, which puts them on the SSR, which makes it harder for them to short stocks in the following days. So maybe we have somebody on our side too. This is also a possibility, who is who is selling off their shares in order just to put this on the SSR to protect us, which, maybe that's not a bad thing. But what can we do is look at the steps they're taking to prepare this tsunami. So let's summarize everything up to the point, shall we? Citadel has been cited for 58 separate incidents, several of which were naked shorting and circuit breaker events, breaker flash crashes. The short shares reported on Citadel's balance sheet as of December 2020 were up to 127% year over year. That's why I knew it was there. The price of several heavily shorted stocks has skyrocketed since January 2021. Citadel uses fair value accounting and needs to reconcile their value of their short positions to this new market price. The higher the price goes, the more expensive it becomes for them to hodl. We know that Citadel is on the hook for $57 billion in shorts, but at least they're hodling onto some physical shares and assets, right? Right? This should soothe that smooth ape brain of yours. And then he goes in here. Securities owned are held at various global financial institutions and at the TTCC. As of December 31st, 2020, securities owned of approximately 63.86 billion. Actually, the DTCC and friends own our physical shares. Really curious why that new DTCC rule came in, huh? Well, that's just terrific because DTCC just implemented SRCC 801, which means that they don't have your shares. I've seriously never seen so much finger pointing and butt covering in my life. I know this post was long, but the story can't go untold. The pressure is being placed on hedge funds to deliver has never been higher, and the crap storm of corruption is committing to a head. Unfortunately, the dirty tricks in the FUD will continue until the spoil ruptures. There are several catalysts coming up, but no one truly knows when the MOAB will blow. However, desperate times call for desperate measures, and we have seen so much happening at once. For all of those reasons more, diamond hands. I'm diamond handing. What are your guys' opinions on that article or this post on Reddit? I'm personally a fan of it. I think that this person did quite a bit of research here, showing their statements, showing the increases, showing the fines that have been placed here. So I like it. I am hoping that this is 100% accurate, but again, this is Reddit. You got to take it with a grain of salt. However, I think it's looking pretty decent. Another thing that's been happening too that we've been watching, by the way, sitting at 1401 on AMC, another thing that we've been seeing happening quite a bit is the fact that Fintel and iBorrowDesk are showing AMC's short interest percentage quite low, which is kind of concerning because we have other places reporting that it's much higher, that it's at 19%. iBorrowDesk, which I've been using pretty consistently, and here I'm going to switch over and I will refresh the page. Short shares available is at 1.1 million. We did see some increases, which is probably normal. These aren't big increases. This is maybe why we saw some of the spikes. It could be some shorts covering. However, 1.7% for that fee does not seem correct. Some places are reporting 19% and etc. Let's look at GME while we're here too, because I heard that GME is actually quite low today. GME is sitting at 200,000 short shares available at 0.7% fee. Now, this also doesn't seem like this is completely correct because you have naked shorts going on, naked shares. So who knows what numbers are correct at this point? Which again, we've seen that manipulation going on. Who knows who's with who? Oh, by the way, we are seeing the 20 MA crossing the 200 MA, which indicates a bullish potential here, and I think we may be seeing it. We are at now 413 with 17 minutes left in power hour, which is pretty excellent. We do have a wall that we have to get through at 1419, which will be right, boom, right there. And 1415, so I'll put another one there. Those do seem substantial. So we got to get through there. We do have another bottom here, which is not a bad thing. So we're looking pretty good. A little bit up on the RSI, but not in any territory where it matters. And our volume is currently at 262.42 million. Now, what I would personally like to see right here today is we get up to that last minute again, and we just see a push. Everybody just gets in, and everybody just buys. Oh, how wouldn't that be a fun way to end the day? Did I do something wrong here? No, I did everything so far right. And then at 1408 is where we have our new support. So let's go to 1408 here. Let me draw that in for you guys. I think I got it 1409 by accident. Nope, 1408. There we go. So that is our support right here. These are the walls we need to break through to see some more movement. So even more volume is always welcome here. So those are kind of all the main things I think that I wanted to go through. I am definitely standing apish on this. And I will continue to stand apish on this, and I hope you are all staying apish on this too. Again, if you have to get out or whatever, that's perfectly fine. I'm in personally for the long haul. I understand if you guys got things going on. Um, Also, another big thing going on is, and I feel like I should address this. Uh, there was this whole thing this morning where Bruce was kind of dissing on AMC. And what I wanted to say to that is it's okay to have differencing opinions. Some of you probably know that I don't agree with him personally, but it's good to have differencing opinions out there on the market or on these YouTube channels because these guys are gonna make you look at things differently. Max was talking earlier today about his DD, and one of the things that he has on his list on how to do DD is to seek more info against rather than for your stock. So try to find all the info why your stock is not going to work when you're looking at these things. And, maybe Bruce is pointing out that stuff. There was rumors going on saying that he was selling out to the hedge funds, meaning the hedge funds were paying him and stuff like that. I didn't personally like how he was handling that. He was like, come on, give me those down votes. I'll take them. And it just kind of started feeling like it was more about the money, him making money off of people rather than the spreading of information and stuff like that. Especially because when GME was making moves in a certain direction, he wouldn't criticize it, and AMC was, and he would do that. I don't personally agree with it. However, I do think Bruce is a very smart person. I've learned quite a bit about how the market works from him. He's a business guy. He's doing what he has to do. He worked in the stock market for a period of time. So, by no means am I bashing him. I'm just stating that I don't necessarily personally agree with his opinions. However, form your own opinions on that. Again, find more things that prove that he's right. Just to have a more well-rounded source of information, because that's the kind of stuff that matters. We want to make sure that we are getting information all across the board. Because, worst case scenario, let's say this doesn't work out, guys. That kind of sucks. That's going to feel bad. But the more DD you have, the more able you may be to predict that. The more able you'll be able to predict that squeeze. In my opinion, we've had a lot of news coming in the past few weeks, which is showing us that we are headed in the right direction of this squeeze. So that's my opinion on that. And, Andrew and Max were just saying today, again, it's okay to have people saying things that go against your opinion. We don't want to be stuck in an echo chamber. We don't want to have those same things repeated over and over again. They're absolutely correct. So, again, I think Bruce is a really smart guy, and I think there's a lot to learn from him still. So, that is my opinion on that. We are sitting at 13.95 here on the stock. 13.94, and it appears that we have dropped a bit. However, we are getting a nice green candlestick as I say that, coming on up heading in the right direction. GameStop's not doing too well here, guys. Hit 214, sitting at 219.72 currently. Also, if you are enjoying the video, if you don't mind hitting that like button, that does help. Again, I want to help you guys get information because I'm kind of new to this whole stock thing. I've only been doing this, I'm going to be really transparent, been doing this since January 28th, but I have been able to spend a whole crap load of time learning this stuff, and I think I've gotten pretty decent at reading through this stuff, at least on a basic level. I only do paper. I'm only doing a cash account. Which means that I don't deal in options, and I know options are a big play in this. I'm not going to talk too much about options because I don't know as much as I want to, and I'm working on learning more of that. What I do know is the basic concept of the higher that we get these prices to every Friday, the more options that are going to expire, which means that the more shares are going to be bought up, the more that we need to hold. So I will say that much about it. Which can help trigger this squeeze. That part I got understood, but I will work on getting better with everything else there too. We are sitting at 1385 on AMC. Our level of support has definitely changed down to 1375, which is sitting right there. And we don't appear to have a wall on the L2 charts at the current moment. And there are way more buyers than sellers. So why are we dropping? Is this a short? This could be but we might be getting shorted a bit here. Let me go back to GME here. No, GME is not. So that's a little weird. Maybe we're not. That's weird though. L2s are showing way more buys than sells. Very, very curious. Very curious. We are sitting 10 minutes left until the end of power hour, end of the market. Currently sitting up 23 point, about roughly 5%. It's jumping back and forth so quickly I can't keep up. So sitting in really good position. Oh, I need to go. I have the infinite thing that Sean was talking about. Oh, hold on one sec, guys. I'll fix that for you. There we go. I need to stop doing that kind of stuff there. I have these keyboard shortcuts to change my camera views on my keyboard, and when I type numbers in online, it switches over here too, which is not what I want to be happening. So I hope you guys have been enjoying that trippy view of the infinite tunnel. Let's see. Do we have any other things happening over here in the Reddit chat that I have that should be being covered? It does not appear so. Which is perfectly fine. All right. Sitting at 1372 currently on GameStop or on AMC. Oh, that would be bad for GameStop. At 3:51 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are hoping to break out of this downward motion, which may potentially be shorting. Sitting at 267.42 million volume, which is quite nice. So maybe we'll see a pushback. Maybe we won't today. Again, I am completely happy with the gains that we have gotten so far. If we close out at 1375, let's say like we closed out right now, that is solid. However, the green candlestick that is popping up may say otherwise. And let's see, we have to break through 1377 in order to move up a little bit more. It doesn't appear that there's a lot of walls occurring, which is nice. We do have a nice level of support at 1370. So right here, and actually we have a point there. So right around, I'm going to put here more so just because of past chart occurrences here. We have a nice 1372 level of support. So hopefully we can just kind of get out that. Let's look at the chart on a bigger. I wouldn't be shocked if we were starting to form. Do I dare say? You could argue that very, very tiny that we might be starting to get a bullish flag formation on the 30-minute, 1 hour chart. It's probably too small to determine that that's the case. But, maybe I'm going to keep an eye on that and see what's going on. RSI is saying that this is overbought, so that is an indicator that this could become bearish a little bit more. Or that was for the past few days. Sorry, we're actually oversold at the current on the 1 minute chart. That is my bad on misreading that. So actually, we have more likely opportunity for a bullish movement right now. The 200 MA or 20 MA did cross under the 200 MA. We would like to see that reverse again. However, as they get closer and closer, that is a little bit of potential consolidation there. And we are hoping for movement. 354. 6 minutes left in the day. Whoa, 1387. Getting a nice green line there. There it is. All right, 1387. Let's see that grow 3 times the size. GameStop still dropping. Sitting at 213. Oof. Not a good day for GameStop. They're down almost 20%. However, AMC is making its move here. It's currently sitting at 1395, a nice resistance at 14 that we got to break through. So let's see if we can get through that. It seems like our volume is increasing a little bit here. Currently sitting at 593.1 thousand, 766.9 thousand. So definitely increasing there. We're touching the $14 line, trying to break through it. We can just see that 14. There it is. There it is. We might break through here. And looking for 1401 to officially break through. We are seeing that 14 wall diminish over on the L2s. Looking for 14. Oh, there's 1401. Excellent. All right. And whoa, things are starting to move, guys. Things are starting to move. This means that the 20 MA will start moving a little bit more in the direction to pass the 200 MA again, which also is going to put us into a bullish movement. Again, I'm apish. And apish just means that I hold. I'm smooth brain, you know? Don't know what I'm talking about. But, you know, I know that after today, guys, I'm going to be celebrating by eating a few crayons. So I hope that you guys will join me. Please don't actually eat crayons just in case you think that's a good idea. I saw one guy actually be like, I'm going to eat crayons if it gets this level. And like he was eating them. It was so gross. And then he like swallowed it. I would not want to know the stomach issues that guy had for the rest of the day. That's like wax and crap, man. Damn. All right, sitting at 1404, wall at 1405, trying to break through that. 1404, it has a nice level of support where it's sitting at, breaking at 1406. GameStop's going up a little bit to 216. 14, back at 14, dropping a bit here. And we're hoping, we're coming down the last 4 minutes, actually the last 3 minutes and 15 seconds, to be more specific. Looking to get higher. Can we get up to 1415? That would be kind of cool. I would like to see us break this line right here. 1421. If we could break over that or even 1428, I think we would be in a good position. We're already in a good position. We're 25% up on this stock today. So let's see if we can do it. GameStop is getting a little bit of a pushback over here. 217. It's recovering a little bit in a small micro sense here. Not excited about that 20 MA going under. However, we have been in worse position before on GameStop. And looking at iBorrowDesk on GameStop, just to update this because I am curious. Loading here. 200,000 shares available to short. So that is weird. All right, AMC sitting at $13.98, touching again on the $14. I would like to see this hit above $14 today. And we have only 2 minutes left. All right, guys, if you're watching, let's get some hype going. You know, let's get that energy building up. Let's see this happening. Let's see some apes in the chat. Let's see some rockets in the chat. Let's see some diamonds in the chat. Let's push this thing to the moon. To the moon. And also, if you don't mind helping out a fellow person, a fellow ape, please click the subscribe button with a little bell next to it to be notified of upcoming shows, and the like button on here too, because that helps increase the viewership of this show. And we want to spread this word to as many people as we possibly can. The charts are going a little bit crazy. Last 2 minutes. Sitting at 1401, 1401, back and forth. We got to break through that 1402. If we do, we're going to get a little bit more movement. There they are. There's the apes. Woo! All right. Here we go. Sitting at 1401. Only 1 minute left in the day. Eastern Standard Time, again, is what we are looking at here. 3:59 p.m. We are up 25, still bordering on that 1401, trying to push through. GameStop at 219.55, trying to just get above 220 there. That wouldn't be too bad. Big loss day. Again, I'm really shocked with the stimulus checks coming into play and how it affected AMC, but not GME. Very interesting, in my opinion. I'm hoping that your other stocks today, too, guys, are going off. And we only got 20 seconds left in the day, sitting at 1401. There it is. Here we go, guys. Coming right to the last 10 seconds here. and let's see if we can just stay above 14. Looks like we are getting a little push here in the last 10 seconds, and we just hit 4 o'clock, waiting for the markets officially to close through the Webull app. Looking at it, and we close at 14:02 today. All right, guys, and it looks like we're probably hopefully going a good direction. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. And GameStop ends is at 220.13. If you guys enjoyed this video today, I will probably be back tomorrow for Power Hour yet again. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow night. Let's hope for some beautiful action in the aftermarket, sitting at 1404 right now on AMC. And we'll see where it goes. And as I always say to everybody, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other. And last but not least, because we are in Rage Goose Studios, get enraged! And have a wonderful evening.